This is IGN. A wonderfully relaxing building sim with slim content. This is your IGN review of Tiny Glade by Rachel Weber. Playing Tiny Glade, the latest cozy game to offer us all an escape from the dumpster fire purgatory that is modern life, for the first time is like sitting down with some building blocks and falling into a hypnotic trance. 1 minute you're just adding a tower and some windows to an old house, and suddenly you look up and you've spent 2 hours building a sprawling village with ponds and crooked paths. Your screenshots folder is bursting with images of your little masterpiece at dusk and dawn, and your back hurts because you never did get a proper chair for your home office. Its biggest flaw is that, as the name implies, there just isn't enough of it. To say I was playing Tiny Glade arguably isn't even accurate. It's more like I was playing with it. You could call it a building sim, but it's more like a set of enchanted Lego bricks or a much prettier Minecraft creative mode. You get a blank canvas of terrain and a small set of tools to build some houses, place water and plants, and take photos, and, well, that's it. So if building freely and setting your own goals are not enough to keep your attention, know that Tiny Glade is not going to throw any armies of orcs at your scenic battlements, and no one actually lives there. Unfortunately, after a few building sessions, it felt like Tiny Glade had run out of surprises. The delightful procedurally generated details that were added as I built were feeling repetitive, and making a house blue or green or tall or small or built entirely over water, imagine the black mold, it lost its charm. The same restrictions that allow everything to fit together so smoothly also mean that more creative types who want to experiment are going to have a very limited set of parameters to do that in. Building in different seasons, moving the clock forward to watch the lights come on in the windows, all of those tweaks can only maintain the thrill for so long. Covering a house in all amps, who cares, when you and your Steam screenshot folder are the only ones who will ever even notice, aside from the aforementioned sheep. Everything that's in Tiny Glade is a little spoonful of joy, from sheep to walled-in gardens to creating tall towers with a Rapunzel vibe, but it's a gaming snack. Go in expecting dozens of hours of gameplay and you'll burn through it after a few hours and call it a day. See it as an art package that you'll bring up when a creative mood strikes, and you'll find a magical little tool set to get lost in. It may be small in stature, but Tiny Glade will live forever in my Steam library, ready to use its coziness to quell the darkness that lurks within my very soul. Good things come in small packages, and Tiny Glade is no exception. The gameplay might be limited or even non-existent depending on your definition, but treat it as a toy set, and the time you lose to creating villages full of duck ponds and flower gardens won't be. It could certainly use more content and flexibility to dive deeper into, but the way you can quickly and easily create a natural-looking structure using its satisfying procedural building tools got more out of what it has than I expected. Learn to live with the lack of actual objectives, enemies, or natural disasters, and you'll be rewarded with a flow state that borders on a trance, and a set of screenshots that will make you huge on #cottagecore TikTok. Tiny Glade's IGN score? 7. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest Tiny Glade updates, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.